first responders, we know that. There's some question that maybe they could protect the entire population. But in either case, we don't have enough of them. So for the past couple of weeks, we've been trying to figure out why. Why are we short of something as simple as a mask? Well, today, about 2 hours ago, actually, I had a phone conversation with someone who's trying to get masks for his state, the state of Florida. That conversation was so compelling and so upsetting that at the last minute we scrapped our original plans for tonight's show and we moved this interview to the top. That person is Jared Moskowitz. He's the director of the Florida Division of Emergency Management, and we're happy to have him on tonight. Jared, thanks so much for coming on. So, simple question. Repeat for our audience, if you would, what you told me about your efforts to get masks for your state, which, by the way, is your job.
Are they aware that their authorized distributors, U.S. companies, are telling me that the reason why our orders are being pushed down is because foreign countries are showing up with cash to purchase the orders? And when I told 3M that, not only did they not dispute it, I asked them if they've put out any guidance to prevent the behavior, and the answer was no. And so when I asked 3M, you know, what is your production? They said they're making 10 million masks a week. And when I said, great, I have money, I'd like to purchase some of those, they said I couldn't, that they have no masks to sell me. And it's criminal what's happening, Tucker. And I want to say something very clear. This is not about the workers in the factories at 3M who are working 24 hours a day to try to create this life-saving PPE. This is about the executives who decided not to put America first, and it's going to have devastating consequences.
So I just want to encapsulate what you said, because I just want this to sink in for the audience. You try to get an answer. You're in charge of procuring these for the first responders in Florida. You're not some guy off the street. You're a government official trying to help a state that is becoming one of the centers of the outbreak, Florida. And you basically got the runaround. So you went after 3M on Twitter, and they responded. And people noticed it, and they responded. And you said, why can't I get it? And they basically said, we have no control. Our dealers are selling some of these masks to foreign countries because they got there first or they're paying cash. And you said, well, shouldn't you tell your distributors to make a priority for America, for the states, for the local governments, for first responders, physicians, nurses, EMTs? And they said, no, we haven't done that. Is that a fair summary?
Yeah, not only is that a fair summary, it's exactly what's happening. It's why Governor DeSantis said the other day it's shady as hell, because that's exactly what it is. I mean, 3M is an ice cream store that doesn't sell ice cream, apparently. I mean, since when do we have a U.S. company who sells masks and I try to offer them money and they won't sell them to me? That, you know, I have to go through their authorized distributors, and their only excuse is that they don't have a perfect system. Well, that's great that they don't have a perfect system, and that, you know, I'm relegated to making deals with brokers at costs that are 10 and sometimes 20 times the actual cost of these masks, which, you know what, at the end of the day, Tucker, regardless of the cost at this point, getting the mask is the most important thing at the moment. We can't even get them because, like I said, I mean, we get to these warehouses.
The rub is you represent Florida, and if they had said to you, look, I'm sorry, Michigan got there first, or California is on the list, or New York has a massive outbreak right now, and they need these masks, I think everyone would understand that. But you learned that these masks are literally being sold to foreign countries in the middle of a pandemic from which we are suffering profoundly. And I guess Michael Roman, who's the CEO of this company, who's doing a star turn on TV, I notice, never told the distributors that this country comes first. That's just bizarre to me. It's shocking to me.
Yeah, and the funny thing is that is not a rumor. That's not something that was suggested. The 3M authorized distributors, which there are only about 20 of those companies, 3M lists them on their website.
Who called you today would have thought, this is pretty disgusting what I'm defending. Maybe I'll just send a memo to Michael Roman and say, hey, Mr. CEO, you should tell our distributors to put the state of Florida above, say, China. But they didn't. Jared Moskowitz, I really am thankful that you came on tonight. That's the most vivid description I've heard. I appreciate it.